You forgot that rule the moment you trusted without looking deeper. You thought trust would make you safer. You thought opening yourself, showing loyalty, and being the person who never doubts would make people return it. But the world does not punish kindness. It punishes unguarded loyalty. The moment you became fully available, you became fully readable, and anything readable can be played. Machiavelli's reality is cold but clear. People act according to their interests, not according to how pure your heart was, not according to how long you waited. Interest, advantage, position. When you trust without testing, you hand those over. You give someone the blueprint to your reactions, your desires, your fears. Now they know which string to pull. Now they know how much you will tolerate. Now they know you fear losing them, so they stop fearing losing you. Power never rewards naivety. Power rewards usefulness. If you enter a room believing everyone is as sincere as you will leave that room carrying someone else's burden. You will defend someone who wouldn't protect you. You will speak for someone who would stay silent when your name is attacked. That is the price of imagining the world is softer than it is. The strategic man watches before he trusts. The sentimental man trusts before he watches and then calls it betrayal. You call it being good. But very often, being too good is just being unguarded. You reply fast, you agree fast, you forgive fast, you reveal fast. You make the other person's path to you straight, smooth, and without toll. And once the path is that easy, they don't value the destination. Availability without cost creates asymmetry. They can choose you. You cannot choose them. They can delay. You wait. They can disappear. You explain. In their mind, you are secured. In your mind, they are a prize. That gap is where they gain power over you. Think about the times you went all in too early. In a relationship, in a friendship, at work. You made yourself the reliable one, the one who covers shifts, the one who listens at 2 a.m., the one who lends money, the one who says, "Don't worry about it." And you thought that would buy you loyalty. What it actually bought was expectation. Now they expect you to absorb the inconvenience. Now they expect you to stay, even when the benefit to you is gone. You trained them to believe you would not leave. This is why it hurts you more than it hurts them, because you thought it was mutual. You thought there was reciprocity, respect, a shared code. You saw a bond, they saw a resource. You saw loyalty, they saw a person who wouldn't say no. You saw the future, they saw convenience. And when someone sees you as a convenience, they do not feel guilty using you. You were there, you made it easy, you offered without being asked. In their mind, you consented. Here is the most brutal truth. They didn't become cruel, you became predictable. Once your reactions can be mapped, your heart can be managed. Once your loyalty is guaranteed, theirs doesn't have to be. And once they know you won't withdraw, they will test how much you let them take. So the lesson is not trust no one. The lesson is never give trust before you see how a person treats power, pressure, and limits. Make people earn the parts of you that can be exploited. Keep something in reserve. Let them wonder if you would walk away, because respect grows in the shadow of possible loss. Guard your loyalty like gold. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony. You forget a truth like that when you think love alone will protect you. You were taught a sweet script. If you give everything, if you are honest without limit, if you never hide, then no one will betray you. You believed openness creates safety, but in the real world that Machiavelli describes, people are drawn to what serves them, not to what exposes itself. Total transparency does not create loyalty, it creates opportunity. When everything about you is visible, your habits, your emotions, your attachment, the other person can see exactly how far you will go to keep them, and once they can see it, they can use it. The romantic lie says, if I give my all, they won't hurt me. But that is a child's bargain. Adults act according to advantage. Even good people change when the incentives change. A colleague can praise you today and compete with you tomorrow. A partner can cry in your arms and still choose herself when a better door opens, not because she is always evil, but because human beings rank their survival, their progress, their comfort above your devotion. You told yourself your love made you irreplaceable. The truth was, your love made you available. Machiavelli flips your hope on its head. What is fully available is easily exploited. Think of it like a city with open gates. You meant it as welcome. Others see it as access. When you reveal your fears, your past, your financial limits, your deepest loyalties too soon, you are handing a map to someone who has not proved they will protect it. Some will, many will not. The world punishes those who gamble, so you must drop the illusion that people stay because of pure affection. In politics, in business, in love, people stay where their interests are fed. A ruler keeps allies while he gives them land, titles, and profit. A friend stays close while the bond elevates him. A lover remains while the connection meets her emotional, social, or even material needs. Strip away the benefit, and many bonds cool. This is not cynicism. This is a structure. Human attachment is often dressed in warm language, but beneath that, there is always a question: what does this give me? If your trust, your time, and your attention cost them nothing, they will not guard it. That is why your trust was not protected. It cost them nothing. You shared everything without requiring them to qualify. You picked up the phone every time. You explained yourself even when they had gone silent. You forgave without consequence. You kept showing up more than they did. All of this told them, I can relax. This person is already captured. And when a person believes you are captured, they stop working to hold you. Love in that form becomes lazy, not loyal. Machiavelli would tell you to think in terms of leverage, not longing. Who has something to lose here? Who has proved themselves under pressure? Who kept your secrets when it was inconvenient? Who defended your name when you weren't present? Affection without risk is cheap. Affection that survives pressure is genuine. When your trust has no test, it has no price. And unpriced things are mishandled. There is another harsh layer. Blind trust does not just make you vulnerable, it signals low status. When you over-disclose to someone you barely know, they do not think, what a pure soul. They think, this person has no other audience. When you over-invest in someone who gives you little, they do not believe so. I must cherish this. They think, no one else is competing for them. Instant loyalty says, you have no alternatives. It says you are grateful just to be chosen. And in any hierarchy, social, romantic, corporate, the one who is thankful just to be there is the one who can be used. People value what is scarce and guarded. A man who does not rush to reveal everything is read as having a life, a standard, a court of his own. A woman who does not immediately answer every message is read as occupied, chosen, in demand. A leader who does not explain every move is read as powerful. Scarcity creates curiosity. Boundaries create respect. But when your heart is on the table, your schedule is always open, and your history is narrated on the first night. There is no mystery to protect, no distance to close, no prize to win. If you are already there, why would they fight for you? From now on, you will slow the reveal. You will let people wonder. You will watch how they act when you say no, when you take longer to respond, when you keep parts of your life off stage. The ones who were there for access will fade. The ones who were there for you will lean in. That is the Machiavellian filter, not cruelty, but clarity. You are not closing your heart. You are protecting your throne. Whoever wants to sit near it must show they can guard it. Trust is earned, not poured. Men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who deceives will always find someone who will let himself be deceived. You became that someone because a wound inside you wanted to be chosen. It was not only their betrayal, it was your hunger. You wanted to be seen, finally be heard, finally be the one somebody did not overlook. That desire is human, but it is also dangerous. Because the moment belonging becomes a craving, you stop evaluating people and start silently pleading with them. You do not ask, are they worthy of this level of access? You say, please stay. That is the exact moment you stop being strategic and start being usable. When you grow up dismissed, ignored, or constantly compared, you learn to talk too much when someone finally listens. You overshare your story. You rush to explain your past. You tell them every mistake you made. You open the vault at the first meeting. You think, if I show them the real me, they will stay. But in the Machiavellian world, early disclosure is not intimacy, it is information. Someone who can feel that you are grateful for attention knows they do not have to earn more of it. Your need to be seen becomes a signal. This person will work to keep me. That signal attracts people who prefer devotion to responsibility. That is how the wound makes you bad at reading character. You see kindness and call it loyalty. You see charm and call it depth. You see shared trauma and call it destiny. You skip the tests you should be running. How do they act when they do not get their way? How do they speak about people who are not present? Do they keep small promises? Your wound pulls you forward faster than your judgment can walk. So you choose enthusiastic people over consistent people. You choose exciting people over disciplined people. You choose attention that burns hot over loyalty, that burns steady, and then you are shocked when the fire goes out. Manipulators smell dependency like blood in water. A Machiavellian does not even have to be evil to use you. He only has to see that you need him more than he needs you. The one who needs the connection more is always the one controlled. Think about the charismatic boss who praises you in private, tells you that you are the future of the team, then stacks extra work on you without pay. Think about the friend who says you are the only one who understands, then unloads their problems on you every week but vanishes when you are in crisis. Think about the partner who mirrors your wounds, says, "I've never met someone like you," then slowly begins to demand, expect, and take. First, they soothe the ache. Then they tax the ache, and you pay, because you are afraid the soothing will stop. This is the pattern: reward, then remove. First, they feed the wound. Then, they feed on the wound. As long as you keep needing their approval, you tolerate the shift. You tell yourself, they are just stressed. They will come back to how they were. I should not be so sensitive. No, they already got what they wanted. Your predictability. They know you will chase. They know you will fix it. They know you will explain yourself instead of confronting them. That knowledge is power over you. And here is the harshest part. A piece of you wanted to believe them. Your shadow is not only the angry, jealous, dark part. Your shadow is also the naive believer, the part that wants the world to match the picture in your head. Finally, that shadow says, this person is different, even when you see the same warning signs. That shadow says, they would never do that to me, even when you watch them do it to others. That shadow says, if I love harder, they will change. That is self-deception. Betrayal does not begin when they lie. Betrayal starts when you refuse to see. You ignored the late replies. You ignored the disrespectful jokes. You ignored how they used other people. You ignored the way they disappeared when you needed help. You ignored all of it because calling it out would risk losing the attention you were finally getting. You thought silence would save the relationship. What it actually saved was their access to you. They got to keep talking, and you got to keep hoping. That is how wounds choose for you. They choose comfort over clarity. Machiavelli would tell you, a prince must know the nature of men, not the dream of men. You must do the same. You have to study behavior, not speeches. You have to measure reciprocity, not intensity. You have to ask, if I stopped giving, would they still be here? If the answer is no, you are not in a relationship. You are in a transaction funded by your loneliness, and a lonely person will always pay too much. So you confront the wound directly. You admit, yes, I wanted to be chosen so badly that I lowered my standards. You accept, I called attention, love. You admit, I ignored facts because fantasy felt better. That honesty is not weakness, it is your first strategic act. Because once you see the part of you that wants to believe, you can place a guard over it. You can tell yourself, slow down, test first, watch twice, give gradually. The wound will ask you to rush. The strategist in you will tell you to watch. You are not being asked to become cold. You are being asked to become conscious. You can still love, but you will not beg. You can still give, but you will not bleed. You can still trust, but only after you have seen a character under pressure. You will let people show you whether they protect what you reveal. You will let people show you whether they honor your absence, not just your presence. You will make your inner need serve your strategy, not sabotage it. Heal the wound, and the world stops choosing for you. Men become ungrateful, fickle, liars, and deceivers when it suits their advantage. You never really swallowed that line until it was your name that did not get spoken in the room. Until it was your turn to watch someone you trusted choose someone else. In one moment, you saw it. The world does not break you only with cruelty. It breaks you by showing you that you were the only one playing fair. It rarely starts with a punch. It begins with a hairline crack in your reality. A message you were supposed to be on, but your name isn't there. A plan made on a call you weren't invited to. A person who used to send long voice notes suddenly replies with one-word answers. Then the proof arrives. You see the screenshots. You hear the promotion went to a newer face. You realize the friend you defended in public was silent when your turn came. The pain in that second is double. They did this, and even worse, I was sure they wouldn't. You built your whole approach on a simple belief. If I am loyal, people will be faithful. If I am available, people will appreciate it. If I never doubt them, they will never doubt me. But real life, the one Machiavelli describes, does not move on sentiment. It moves on advantage. They chose the person they feared losing, not the one they knew would stay. They rewarded the one who held something back, not the one who poured everything out. What you thought was armor, your consistency, your yes, your presence, was actually exposure. You were easy to reach, easy to read, easy to replace. That is betrayal as ego shock. It is confusion, rage, and humiliation, braided into one feeling. You start rewinding every conversation, hunting for the moment you misread. You remember the 2 a.m. advice call you took, the day you covered their shift, the time you vouched for them in front of people who outranked you. You remember how freely they talked to you about other people, how you defended them, how you treated the bond as sacred. Now, standing outside the circle, you finally see the outline. You were supplied, you were safe. Because they were sure you would not walk, they felt free to spend you. Then that sentence rises from your chest like heat, but I wouldn't have done that to them. That line is the innocent part of you speaking. It means you judged them by your code, not by their needs. You said, I protect people so people protect me. Machiavelli would tell you that people do not copy your morality, they follow their necessity. If keeping you would have cost them status, comfort, or favor with someone higher, they would release you and sleep, not because they were born monsters, but because the situation demanded advantage more than it demanded fairness. You expected symmetry in a world that rewards calculation. This is why the collapse is so deep. You were living inside a softer map of human nature. You thought we, they thought for now. You thought bond, they thought useful arrangement. When the for now expired, you took it as treason. In Machiavellian terms, people whose position depends on favor will always move with favor. If your safety in the connection depended on feelings, instead of on shared risk or on your own power, then the day the feeling changed, so did your rank. What feels like a personal attack is often just the structure revealing itself. And now the wound turns inward. If your identity was, I am the loyal, good, dependable one, betrayal feels like your whole character failed. You start attacking yourself. Was I stupid? Was I blind? Did I make it all up? You threaten to go cold. You say, I will never care again. I will never trust again. I will be ruthless. But that is not the real lesson. Goodness did not fail of you. What failed you was goodness without screening, love without boundaries, and access without requirement. You gave before you tested. You trusted before you observed. You revealed your plans to people who never revealed theirs. You merged your effort with people whose character you had never seen under pressure. That is not noble, that is unguarded. You can still be honorable while making people qualify. You can still be generous while measuring reciprocity. You can still be loyal while keeping leverage. Machiavelli does not tell you to stop loving. He tells you not to stand in the open field without armor. So, let the collapse finish its work. Let it burn away the fantasy that everyone thinks like you. Let it kill the childish belief that effort automatically earns a permanent place. Now you can see the real order. The people who control their access, their reactions, and their information are the ones who get protected. The people who hand everything over on day one are the ones who get set aside when priorities shift. It is not always personal, often it is structural, and structures do not rearrange themselves for those who refuse to see them. You can take that painful scene, the message you were not supposed to see, the opportunity that skipped you, the room where your name should have been spoken, and instead of saying, I am unworthy, you say, I was unguarded. One sentence chains you to shame, the other opens the door to power, because now you know where the breach was. You assumed loyalty without proof. You assumed permanence without performance. You thought they feared losing you when you were the one afraid of losing them. Now the roles will be different. This fall from illusion to reality is actually the cleanest break you will ever get. It throws you into the real arena where alliances are tested, not just declared. It teaches you to document your value, to diversify your loyalty, and never to let one person or one group hold all. In your emotional equity, you will love again, you will serve again, you will lead again, but this time it will be with eyes open, stakes measured, exits known. Your heart stays warm, but your gates stay guarded. It is much safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. You heard that line and thought it was only about princes and armies, but it was also about you sitting in a kitchen at midnight, wondering why someone who said they cared chose comfort over you. What you called love was often just aligned interests. You needed someone to see you. They needed someone who would always answer. You needed stability. They needed affirmation. For a while, both needs pointed in the same direction, so it felt like devotion. It felt like fate. But in a Machiavellian world, devotion stays only as long as the direction remains the same. When their interest turned toward a new circle, toward a better opportunity, towards someone harder to get, their behavior turned too. That was not worth dropping. That was the mask of shared interest coming off. This is the first relief you must take. People can genuinely like you and still choose what benefits them more. That does not make them monsters. It makes them human inside hierarchies. A co-worker can enjoy your conversations and still recommend someone else for the role because that person will make them look better. A friend can love your honesty and still spend more time with the louder group because it gives them social reach. A woman can be drawn to your steadiness and still chase the man who offers challenge or status. Affection and advantage can live in the same heart. Advantage usually wins. So, stop translating "they chose differently" into "I was unlovable." The mistake was not that you were warm. The mistake was that you were early. Machiavelli never tells you to be a stone. He tells you to trust slowly, to grant access only after proof, and to make sure a person has something to lose if they mishandle you. You did the opposite. You gave stage 5 access at stage 1 proof. You let someone see your fears, your plans, even your loyalty before you see how they handle pressure, secrecy, and delay. You opened the inner rooms of your palace while they were still standing in the courtyard. Of course, they did not guard it in their mind. They had not paid for it. Strategic intimacy is not cold. It is paced. You listen, but you withhold conclusions. You share, but in doses. You test with minor disappointments, a late reply, a boundary, a not tonight, and you watch whether they punish or respect. You look for reciprocity, not just intensity. If they only love you when you are fully available, that is not love, that is consumption. If they cannot tolerate your no, they do not deserve your yes. So, reframe the betrayal. It was not love turning into hate. It was a role being revealed. Some people entered your life as actors. They played the part that would get them the most access. Loyal friend, attentive partner, humble student, supportive colleague. You believed the role was their nature. Then life changed, incentives changed, and the mask slipped. What you saw as cruelty was often just exposure. Now you know who they really are when there is no advantage in pleasing you. That is a gift, because most people go years keeping counterfeit loyalties around them, bleeding slowly. You've got to see it now. You learned early that anyone who benefits from you one way but risks nothing for you is a temporary arrangement. You knew that real allies do not vanish when you stop feeding their ego. You learned that the people who still honor you when you are not shining are the only ones who should be allowed into the inner rooms. And remember, reality revealing itself is not an attack on your value. It is a report. It tells you which people are ruled by appetite, which by ambition, and which by principle. Keep the last group closest. Keep the ambitious at arm's length. Keep the hungry ones outside your private gates. When you can sort people like that, you stop personalizing what was only structural. You stop asking, why didn't they love me more? And you start asking, did I place them where they actually belonged? You are not leaving this colder. You are leaving this ranked. Access to you will now move in stages. Words will not outrank behavior. Emotion will not outrank loyalty under pressure. Speed will not outrank consistency. You will still give, but to those who have shown they can guard what you offer. Call it what it was, and choose wiser. A prince must know how not to be good. You must know it too, not to become cruel, but to stop being easy. You have already seen what happens when you trust without limits. People learned your patterns, your softness, your eagerness to help, and they took from it because nothing in you required balance. That was your shadow running the show, the part that wanted to be loved more than it wanted to be secure. Now we flip it. Now you become the kind of person Machiavelli would respect, warm but not exposed, loyal but only to the tested, generous but never the only source. This is not rage, this is a structure. Start with a new law: trust but only with leverage. No one should be able to hurt you without losing something themselves. You test loyalty with small favors first. Ask for something slightly inconvenient and watch. Do they still show up when it is not public and not dramatic? Do they honor a promise that benefits only you? If they do not, you do not promote them. You do not hand over money, secrets, contacts, your plans, or your full emotional weight to someone who has only proved that they enjoy your company. Liking you is not proof. Consistency is proof. You want people who have demonstrated commitment and therefore have something at stake if they ever betray you. Then stop revealing your whole plan. When you tell everyone where you are going, you give everyone the chance to block you, copy you, or undercut you. Speak in outlines, not blueprints. Say, I'm working on something, not, here is the idea, the weak point, and the deadline. Let people see motion, not the engine, and diversify your alliances. If all your emotional support is in one person, that person owns you. Suppose all your opportunities come through one gatekeeper, that gatekeeper owns you. Build parallel lines of support so that if one relationship breaks, your entire life does not collapse. Next, control information flow. Machiavelli understood that power often comes from what is not said. The more you talk, the more you hand out maps of yourself. In the early stage of business, friendship, or romance, your strongest move is observation. How do they treat people who cannot benefit them? How do they talk about people who left? How do they react when you say no? You cannot watch if you are always performing, so speak less. Please answer the question they asked, but do not volunteer your entire history, finances, family drama, or plans. You are not required to narrate yourself to be worthy. There is strength in partial silence. When people do not know everything, they project value onto you. They assume you have options because you do not sound desperate. They assume you have standards because you do not over-explain. They assume you have other people in your orbit because you do not center them immediately. That assumption makes them behave better. They become careful with tone. They match effort. They hesitate to take you for granted. You let information drip, not flood. This also protects you from collectors, the friend who is actually gathering information, the co-worker who reports upward, the relative who turns every detail into family gossip. If different people know slightly different things, you can see which version returns to you. Then you know who leaks. Then you know who covers you. Power is not just having people around, it is knowing which people can be trusted with which pieces. Now choose based on character, not chemistry. Chemistry is the enemy of strategy because it makes you forgive what you should measure. Someone makes you laugh, understands your wounds, mirrors your childhood, and you think that is enough. It is not. What matters is this. Do they keep their word when it is annoying? Do they go quiet when you win? Do they become emotional, sarcastic, or guilt-tripping when you set a boundary? Watch what they do in the unlit parts of life, not just in the curated ones. A man who speaks ill of others to you will speak ill of you to others. A woman who constantly needs to be centered will eventually resent your purpose. A friend who disappears when you finally say, "Not today," was never a friend. He was a consumer of your leniency. You are not building a crowd, you are creating a court. A court is made of people you can trust with absence, with money, with your name in rooms you are not in. Those people are rarely the loudest or the most dramatic. They are the ones who stay steady even when the room shifts. So make screening normal. Tell someone no and watch. Cancel once and watch. Share a small win and watch. Set a fixed limit and watch. The sincere ones will adjust because they were there for you. The ones who were there for access will show teeth. Good exposure now is cheaper than exposure later. When you live like this, your shadow stops driving. The part of you that wanted to be chosen still exists, but it no longer bargains your safety away. You can say, I like them, but they are not proven yet. You can say, I enjoy them, but they do not get the inner room. You can say, I will help, but not at the cost of my leverage. That is how a Machiavellian with a conscience lives, fully aware of human nature, but not enslaved to it. You will notice something else. People start respecting what they cannot automatically have. Your time, now scheduled, becomes valuable. Your attention, now selective, becomes desirable. Your loyalty, now rare, becomes prized. Instead of chasing those who mishandled you, you become the one whose yes is meaningful, whose silence is noticeable, whose boundaries are clear. That is what it means to be formidable, not harsh, structured. Do not confuse this with paranoia. You can still love deeply, you can still celebrate loudly, you can still show up for people. The difference now is that your love is backed by discernment. You give where there is reciprocity. You stay where there is respect. You expose yourself to shared risk. Everyone else remains outside the gate. Guarded heart, open eyes, chosen circle. Power is safest in the hands of the one who does not need to shout to prove it. You don't have to be hard to become wise. You only have to rule yourself. What you walked through was chaos, not just theirs, but yours. You trusted too fast, believed too beautifully, and then watched the mask fall. That could have turned you bitter. It could have made you spend the rest of your life suspicious, scrolling, testing everyone, assuming every smile is a scheme. But that is not the Machiavellian endpoint. The goal is not paranoia. The goal is sovereignty, a calm center that decides who gets close and on what terms. Guarded does not mean loveless. It means selective. You can still be warm, but warmth will no longer be automatic. You can still give, but giving will no longer be your default audition for love. People will have to qualify. You will let someone show up across time, across moods, across inconveniences. You will see them mention your name when you are not present. You will notice whether they respect your boundaries without sulking or trying to negotiate them away. Then, and only then, do they get the softer parts of you. That is not cold. That is dignified. A palace with gates is no less beautiful. It is protected. Your new standard is mutual risk. What hurt you before was not only betrayal, it was being the only one exposed. You told secrets no one else told. You sacrificed more than anyone else sacrificed. You loved in public while they loved in private. That imbalance is what made the fall so loud. So now you ask different questions. What does this person stand to lose if they mishandle me? Do they have reputation, effort, history, and loyalty invested here? Will it actually cost them if they disrespect me? Real intimacy, real alliances, live where both people can get hurt and choose not to. Anything else is you performing loyalty for an audience that is not paying. This is where peace comes from. You no longer have to guess. When someone has nothing to lose, you already know their ceiling. When someone has matched your effort, you already know their intention. You stop begging for certainty from people who have not earned your trust. You stop writing chapters with people who were only meant to be footnotes. You make the table smaller, but the conversation around it becomes quieter, safer, and cleaner. Fewer people, but better people. Understand this clearly. Betrayal did not ruin you. Blind trust did. You handed royal access to people who had not proved they could live in a royal court. You assumed sentiment would restrain self-interest. You believed promises made in comfort would hold under pressure. Now you know better. Now you live by tests, not fantasies. You give in layers. You forgive without forgetting patterns. You love without abandoning leverage. That is not darkness. That is adult loyalty. So you walk forward differently, not with a broken heart, but with a trained one. You will still build families, teams, friendships, and partnerships. You will still sit at tables and laugh. You will still answer late-night calls. But underneath it all, there will be a ruler awake inside you, measuring, adjusting, deciding. No one will ever again have more authority over your emotional state than you do. Choose peace through standards, not through blindness.